Good morning, guys. Yeah, David, I know. There's almost as many non-binary in this community as there are females. It's kind of fascinating. TPL, what's yeah, it's kind of flagging, but yeah. I mean, it is flagging. I would prefer more sideways, but sure, it looks strong. It's relentlessly surfing the 10-day. Man, I'm so pissed about Bitcoin. This riot stopped me out yesterday, late day. I took a $400,000 loss on it, and now it's gapping higher. And I rebought some pre-market, but at least I did have I keep half of my GBTC, so that's good. Otherwise, I would be really pissed off right now if I didn't have that half GBTC from yesterday. So at least I have that going for me. Yeah, so annoying. Like, why did Riot have to do this bullshit late there? Oh well. Trading is so easy, everyone can do it. It's so easy and straightforward. Holy shit, what happened to this thing yesterday? What? You love me, the chat and the stream? I love you too. There's two people have prepped their struggle trade. Hey, those of you who are already finished with the struggle thingy, I don't even know what to call it. Struggling trader feedback? Struggling trader coaching? What should I call it? Struggle City. Struggle Street. The Struggle Bus. Trader Psychiatrist? No. It's 5K per month service. Hand of God. Trading is easy. Kindergarten. Grip strength. Struggle porn. Okay. Alright, guys. I'll just call it Fuck David. Get it over with. All right, let's see here. I sold a third of AMAT yesterday since it closed below the 10-day. The Qs are just keep grinding higher, relentlessly grinding higher. What was the stock? Oh yeah, MU. What's MU doing? This MU, I like how, look at how relentless it's building higher lows. Like one of these days, it's gonna break out and it's gonna go to like 130 in a straight line. Struggle from another mother? What? Man, this Tesla. That's the one I should have done. Oh well. Oh shit, I need to log in on my trading platforms. Good luck, guys. UPST, yeah, I have such a small position. I'm gonna wait for the. I'm gonna trail it with a 50-day. Yeah, I'm gonna train pay. I still think it's gonna go higher. Like I have such a small position, I don't even care. It's a good thing, you know, good stock to practice patience. I think. Is NVCR an EP? I don't know, is it? What are the criteria for an EP? Well, actually, I do know. What are the criteria for an EP? Gap up of more than 10%. Big volume out of the gate. And news, obviously. Yeah, I missed the days too when Riot went up 30%, when Bitcoin went up 5%. I missed those days too. I do miss those days. Yeah, Etsy had a good setup last week on Thursday, I think it was. Yeah, I passed on it that day. I remember that. I bought something else instead. I don't remember what though. Yeah, I bought Shopify. Yeah. Which is, I guess it's acting okay. You know what's flagging? Really tight flag? Russell 2000. Look at this flag. Look at the 20-day, the 50-day, 10-day, all in this tight area. If Russell breaks out of this 223, ooh, we may get a big move, hopefully. The mRNA is also going from the entry or the trigger point 2 days ago. Also, obviously, the J&J news are helping these things. What's the volume on max? Yeah, TNA for the Russell. TNA is the levered Russell ETF. Triple Russell. Coupang, yeah, it is getting tight. Oh, bank sector doesn't look good. Financial sector. If a riot stops you out again today, you might kill yourself. Please stop trading. I don't think trading is for you. Playboy, yeah, I love it. I love everything about it. If you short Playboy, this stock you can only go long this stock. You can't short it. It's un-American to short Playboy. So now a lot of these stocks, these like software tech stocks that last week and 2 weeks ago bounced off their major moving averages, they're now kind of, having some pretty decent follow through. Like CrowdStrike undercut the rising 150, had this little breakout day of this range, and now it's kind of bouncing higher. ZS kind of bounced above the 200 day. Roku bounced off the rising 150. This one is a choppy one. This is kind of choppy too. Fiverr above the 150. TTD above the undercut the 200 twice. Tesla the 150. Square above the 150. This thing is going straight up, and I'm not in it. I'm not in it. Why am I not in it? I was watching this thing. Why am I not in it? I don't know. It's David's fault. Look, David is writing it himself. It's his fault. It's David, it's all your fault. GBTC, what's this thing do? And now that I'm full size, it's probably gonna gap down tomorrow. Wait, you know, just watch. You'll see. You'll see. It's gonna gap down tomorrow. A good entrance square is when it, you know, I've been surfing the 150 and then it had this kind of breakout day out of this range. That specific day there were a lot of software and tech stocks that looks very similar. Like all of them, like Twilio and Tesla, I think, or maybe not Tesla, but like Fiverr, Roku, ZS, CrowdStrike. NIO, yeah, maybe. I don't see anything here. It is surfing about the 200 day, but not sure if I see anything there. No, I don't trade coin. Or sorry, IPOs on the first day. Oh, I don't like the fact that. Oh, Russell is, you know, it can't reclaim the 20 and the 50 days. Ideal scenario, it kind of retests its 210 area, 211 area, builds a higher low, finds support on the rising 100, and maybe sets up again in a few weeks. Builds a little bit more of a base, and then we, you know, get a big run later in the spring to high 200s or something. That would be like a really nice scenario. Well, MU is not gonna go anywhere today, taking that one off. NVCR. Just look at the volume. The average volume in this thing is like what, 600-700K, and just look at this thing traded the average volume in the first couple of minutes. By the time it took out the opening range highs, it had already traded, yeah, the average volume first 5 minutes or so. That's what you want to see in an EP, that kind of volume. And look at this earnings EP back here. It didn't have a lot of volume, actually not a lot of volume at all, but it had big earnings. And look at the move it started. Multi-quarter move, 150%. GBTC isn't gapping down. Satoshi doesn't get. What the fuck does that even mean? Like, what the fuck does that even mean? GBT isn't gapping down. It can do whatever the fuck it wants. Rule number one about financial markets, they can do whatever the fuck they want at any given time. Why didn't you walk out yesterday from Riot? When you say walk out, I assume you mean getting stopped out. I did got stopped out. Why would I buy Nvidia yesterday? Where was the setup on Nvidia? Nvidia had a setup here last week, or even 2 weeks ago. Why was Nvidia set up here? What is this setup? What's your edge in a setup like this? Can you enter on yesterday's highs instead of opening range high? You can enter wherever you want, but make sure you have an edge. Make sure you have an edge. Go back and look at thousands of examples from history. And then, if you verify that it works, and you can do whatever you want. You really can do whatever you want, but make sure it better work. Make sure you verify. Missed punchline? Yeah, I guess so. I really didn't get the punchline. Your edge is stimulus? Yeah, Powell is our edge. Powell has our backs. He really does. T-Doc, so like a good setup. On the daily, no. On the weekly, no. I don't see it. I don't. It's just it's been in a range for a year. It hasn't really been building higher lows or anything. To me, I don't see it. I don't see it. To me, it looks like a broken stock. I don't see an edge there at all. Now, oh, do I have full size? Full size? Oh yeah, I have almost full size in GBTC. Okay, good. And tomorrow it's gonna gap down on me and stop me out of the outside added today. Just like it gapped up today. I have that feeling. Do I see anything in LAC? No. Domo is breaking out. I don't think it's a great setup. Yeah, PLL is a much better setup. This is a setup. LAC, that's just for now a dead stock. Tiger, yeah, Tiger is pretty strong. It's been building higher lows since it bounced off the rising 100. What's Futu doing? Futu is setting up too. Futu is setting up really nicely. Ideally a few more days so the 20-day can start catching up. Upwork, yeah, I think Fiverr is better. Fiverr is a much better setup. Still... yeah, put it in a like a Google Sheets or something, and then you can DM me, whisper me on Twitch. Yeah, solar. Yeah, the clean energy names, they're all really weak. Oh yeah, this thing needs probably at least a week more of sideways pullback. I'm gonna watch some YouTube. Hey guys, this is weird. Like, I use TweetDeck and I follow Citron, but I can't see the Citron tweet in my feed. Oh, now I see it. Oh, I had to up. Why is it not updating? That's weird. That is weird. I had to refresh the window. Oh, so Citron hit Riot, okay. Yeah. That's why Riot has been acting like shit compared to Mara, because there's something wrong with it. You know, at some point fundamentals do matter, and it's been it's been obvious for the past couple of weeks, while Mara has been going straight up and Riot has been struggling. There's something wrong. He short GBTC. No, did he? He said if you want Bitcoin exposure, you can buy GBTC at the 7% discount. Okay, back to YouTube. Oh, I don't like the fact that Russell is fading. I don't like it. Q's and Spies are still very strong, but Russell is not acting well. This FLGT could be interesting for an entry. It's kind of finding support on the rising 100. I think I had it like a month ago, but got stopped out. I think I bought it this day here, if I remember correctly. Who is Citron? It's a guy who runs a hedge fund who posts his picks. He used to be good, now he's not anymore. Alright, let's see, I've gotten a bunch of DMs. Let's see here. Okay, let's do the struggling access denied. Also, by the way, if you're gonna share their Google Sheets, give me access. I'm looking at you, Pfizer shot. I can't open the document. Okay, let's see, what are we looking at here? Okay, all right. This is not the format that was... Okay. All right. All right. Let's take this guy first. I'm gonna. I'm not gonna show his name because it's irrelevant. So let's see. ASXC. So he bought it here and got stopped out on 410. I guess the next day. ASXC. ASXC. So he bought it. Wait. Okay. So that wasn't an ideal entry day. The thing is, here's the entry day. Okay, this was the bounce of the 50 day, and here's where the range break was. You know, this is not the entry day. You shouldn't have entered it here. You always try to buy on the entry day. The setup itself, I mean, I guess it was okay. Higher lows, big momentum stock. But when is this? 22nd of March, like 22nd of March, like the market was kind of in a correction type of a thingy, right? Russell too, Nasdaq, Russell. Well, Russell was okay, but yeah, it wasn't good for a good market environment. That's why it failed. And now it's down way big since. Okay, let's do the next one, ET. So he bought it here. And you got stopped out at 795 to say, okay, so why was you stopped at 795 and not the lows of the day? That's what I want to ask you. Why 795? And the setup itself, not that great. This is a big laggard energy stock. Like, energy stocks have been running for like 5-6 months. This was a huge laggard. You know, it's something to be aware of. You don't want to get into laggards. FLL. Oh, okay, this is not good. Okay, I mean, look. Bought the breakout at 984. I assume it's this day here. You bought it at where? 984? You bought it on this day here? Where's the breakout? There's no breakout here. If you really love this stock, this would have been the entry day, and even this was maybe a 3-star setup at most. This is, what the hell is this? No. This is not a setup. You really need to spend time on setups. You really need to, like, you can start with my swing trading school. Like, this is not a good setup. This is if you want to blow up. That's a good setup if you want to blow up. All right, let's do the next one. Yeah, someone has to buy the, okay. Ooh, okay, yeah. The good thing is, it's very easy to fix your problems because your setups and entries are pretty much like the setups you trade are mediocre is being generous. So you bought here for an EP bounce. Okay. This is not. There is no such thing as an EP bounce. This is not an EP. Okay. So really, guys, this is Tesla 85. You really need to follow the instructions on the screen. Okay. Here is all the information you need. But setups, you really need to work on your setups. It's very easy to fix your problems. If you keep doing this stuff, you're gonna blow up. And I would say also, you know, don't do these types of mean reversion trades. They're not reliable. They're just, you know, they're very tricky. Chafin. Let's see. So you bought it here. You got stopped out to say, so what was it? What's the setup here? 10-day bounce? I don't see anything here. It's just random. Like pretty much everything you do is just random, which is the good news. So it's very easy to identify your problem. OVV. Now this setup was okay. I think I had on my own watch list, but I bought, I think it was KBE the same day. I got stopped out myself. I had no, wait, which one? Yeah, Gush, the Gush ETF. Because there was a lot of setups in the energy sector, but I would say it was a decent setup, but it just failed. It failed. So that's the first good setup with a good entry so far. You bought it 2506. Yeah, that was a good one. It just sometimes setups fail. It just happens. Okay. UAMY. Let's see. So you bought it here. Again, like I don't see anything here. It's just, I mean, he bought it. It was inside of a range. I don't know what you saw here. I mean, yes, it was a momentum stock. Had pulled back to the 50, built higher lows, but there was no breakout here. You bought it inside of a range. Okay, so that was that. When did I start? Was it like 10 minutes ago? I need to remember the timestamp for the YouTube video. Can anyone remember when I started? What time it was? I think it was like 10 minutes ago. Like 16:05. 6 minutes ago, so 16:10, okay. 16:10, alright, good. Has this guy given me access yet? Let's see. Okay, here it is. Okay, so APHA. So I'm doing, let's see, who is this? Pfizer shot. let's see here. Okay, so he bought it here. The setup itself here, I remember it. I bought it myself. I thought it was a really good setup. It just didn't work out. It just didn't work out. Next one, Sientra. Where did he buy it? Here. I'm not sure what you saw here. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's just best to wait for a breakout. Like, okay, I get it. It's a momentum stock, had a little bit of a flag, but where did he buy it? 808. I mean, you kind of anticipated a breakout. And you know what I think about anticipating breakouts. I'm not a fan. So, yeah, this one totally failed. UVXY. Also, guys, you shouldn't be trading these types of things, these volatility instruments, unless you really know what the hell you're doing. I'm not even going to review the trades. You bought it here and here. You know, if you really need to know what the hell you're doing. These things are going to cut your accounts to pieces. Oh, indices. Yeah, no, don't trade these things, seriously. DSX. He bought it here. That's a good setup. That's a really good setup. This is a 5-star setup. Really good setup, okay? And you stopped on this day here. Why did you stop on this day here? 327. Why did you stop at 327? Like, why did you get stopped out on 327 this day? I don't get it. What was the reason for that? Oh, sorry, that was half size. Okay, so you just sold half size on day 3 to 5. Okay, sorry, I misread it. And here on this day, it didn't. Yeah, it closed below the 10-day, but it closed way off the lows. So you kept the half size and then you got stopped out the next day. Okay, yeah. No, this is a good trade. I give you 5 out of 5 on this trade. It was a good setup and you followed the rules. This is good. This is good. Now, it didn't make a big move or anything, which is, you know, not everything is going to make a big move. But that was, I give you, this is the, yeah, this was a good one. 5 out of 5. You followed the rules, it was a good setup, and you followed the exit rules. Very good. OGI. Let's see here. EP, yeah, it was an EP. I traded it too. It just didn't have any follow through. And you got stopped out. It's not obvious where you got stopped out. Oh, you bought it. Okay, so yeah, the entry wasn't good. You kind of anticipated a breakout of the highs of the day. It didn't come until like later in the day. But yeah, I give you a 4 out of 5 on this trade. It was a good setup. But your entry wasn't great. And you would have gotten stopped out anyways, so it doesn't matter. Okay, UAL. And that one too, it didn't really have much follow through, so like I lost money on that one. I thought it was gonna go to $5-6, but we actually did go to almost 5, but maybe $6 or something. UAL Airlines, yeah, the good entry, good entry. I bought this one too, or I think I bought one of the airlines on this day. It was a, you know, it was a decent setup. It, and you got stopped the same day. Yeah, I don't blame you because it did close kind of weak, and sometimes it's just best to get out if the stock closes weak on the breakout day. Now, this trade would have worked out if you had been, you know, following the the sell rules, but it's fine. You know, sometimes when a breakout closes like this, it's just, you know, best to get out. So it was a good trade. I would say it was a good trade overall, even though if you had followed the sell rules, you would have actually made money on it. But sometimes it's better to be defensive. TRCH. Bought it here, and you got stopped out here. So was it a good setup? I mean, I guess it was an okay setup, but it just, I don't know, maybe a 3-star. BHR. Okay, I can see it right, it's kind of choppy one. Let's see, where did you buy? You bought it here? Reopening hotel play. Okay, you anticipated a breakout that never happened. Okay. Again, like I personally don't like anticipation. Because the fail rate is so much higher. Zom bought it here and Panic sold it 222 on this day. Well, you would have gotten stopped out anyways. I mean, the setup was okay, I guess, but yeah, it didn't really give you. And also, like all of these trades there from like March, like breakouts were tricky. March was a very tricky month for breakouts, so that's where there's so many fails. Sendiel. You bought it here, sold it here. The setup wasn't that great. It wasn't a great setup. SOS. Bought it here. And I guess you stopped out. Oh, you stopped out the same day, break even? Okay. The setup, was it good? I guess it was okay. But again, March was a tricky month, because a lot of the speculation money kind of flowed out of the market. The speculation money that came into the market November to February, most of it, it went away in March. GMBL, you bought it here. That's when I bought it. And you got stopped out here following the sell rules. Yeah, it was an okay setup. And the whole sector was kind of strong, but it just didn't work out. Again, March, what can I say? It was month of March. RKT, I bought it here. That was a shitty setup. It was a really shitty setup. And you got stopped out the same day. What's this? ICE. Again, not that great of a setup. I think I traded myself. Or actually it was, I don't know. It was okay, I guess. It just, again, what can I say? Month of March. If it had been in January, it would have gone to 30. NXTD, again, like these are like broken. Like a lot of these broken momentum stocks. You bought it here, got stopped out. Again, it wasn't a great setup. It was wide and loose, and there was no higher lows, and it's just a broken momentum stock, some random pump stock. UVXY, I'm not even gonna go through UVXY. None of you should be trading those things unless you really know what the hell you're doing. TCAT, you bought it here. I don't see anything there. You saw a potential little breakout on the 60-minute. This is what you saw. Again, you're kind of anticipating a move that you think is gonna happen, but that's the thing, I don't. You know what I think about anticipation. HOFV, it never had a breakout. Said it broke down. HOFV, what's this? You bought it here. Yeah. Well, the entry was solid, I guess. It was a tight entry in the 60-minute. It just didn't have any follow through. What's this? GMBL again. You bought it here. Stopped out the next day. It wasn't a great setup. It was below the declining 10 day, was below the declining 20 day. I'm not sure it was a good setup. Riot. You bought it here, and you got stopped out here. Yeah, it wasn't a clean setup. Like, they're not great setups. They're not great setups. Focus on flags. Like, this is a good setup. Okay, this is a good setup. When you just break out of clean ranges, these are all just, you know, fantasy trades. Just a random range break, and you hope that they're gonna go to the moon. Again, you know, it's a broken momentum stock. There's nothing here. Bought it here, sold here. Nothing here. Bad setup. WTI. I'm gonna show you a good setup was on SPWR. This was a good setup. Clean range break. This was a good setup. Clean range break. I think, was it this one I traded and sold it because I didn't follow my sell rules? I think so. This was a good setup. Clean break, like clean flag break, because something buying, you know, down here. I mean, it looks like shit. Where's your edge? Like, there's nothing there. WTI. Again, you know, just a random broken stock. You know, the 20-day was declining, the 10-day was declining. It's just random update. If you keep buying random stuff, you're gonna blow up. Mods, EP. Let's see here. I mean, it was a solid EP. And if it had more volume, I would probably have traded myself. It just didn't work out. The setup was decent, I guess, but it just didn't work out. Again, month of March. If this had happened in November, December, it would have, you know, it would have done this without stopping you out first. Riot again. I went through that one already. MSTR. And MSTR, you bought it yesterday, got stopped out. It wasn't a good setup. Just easy as that. Just a random bit, you know, no, nothing there. I'm gonna show you a good setup. Okay. Where is it? This was a good setup. Wait, here. This was a good setup. It had been showing relative strength. The market was pulling back during this time. Bitcoin pulled back to the 50-day. This MSTR surfed the 20. Showed relative strength. That was a good setup. That one I traded. Down here yesterday was just a random. It didn't show any relative strength to Bitcoin. It was just a random broken momentum stock. CDEV. You bought it yesterday, got stopped out. Again, I guess it was kind of a decent setup, but you know, sometimes better just wait for the breakout. And don't, you know, you don't have to be the first one in. Like if you can see, look at the 60-minute, it just popped a little bit and then just straight out faded. Sometimes it's just better to wait a little bit and see if it holds. The range breakout actually holds. Yeah, 2 winners and 28 losses. Yeah, and you would have avoided, out of those 28 losses, you would have avoided 20 of them if you had focused on like really good setups. All right, great. So I did 2 people. And again, both of these, you know, most of the issue was just, you know, trading mediocre setups. That's the issue. You really need to focus at, you know, at least you need to spend at least a few hundred hours studying what a good setup looks like. That's what it comes down to. And less anticipation. and more actual breakouts. There were a lot of anticipation breakouts just failed. A lot of losses that could have been avoided if you just waited for a breakout, because those breakouts never happened. All right, I'm done with the struggling trader. What should we call it? Mentorship? No. Struggling trader feedback. Struggling trader feedback. So it was from 1610 to 1632. I'm gonna try to remember it. Man, I'm done. I'm so tired after done the feedback thing. And I have like 10 DMs that I haven't even looked at. And they were very simple mistakes, just mostly shitty setups. Just too many random stocks and random setups. If you want to make big money in the stock market, even if you want to make any money in the stock market, you need to focus on stuff that is not random. You really need to figure out what's random and what's not. There was just a lot of like broken momentum stocks that had some random upticks that people were chasing. That was like half of the setups I looked at. You really need something that looks good. And how do you know what looks good? Well, you need to study. You need to go back and look at hundreds, if not thousands of historical examples. What is a good setup? What's the type of setup where stocks make big moves? Like, how does a stock look like before they make their big moves? At what point is it okay to break the sell rules? Well, at a point you feel comfortable breaking sell rules. And if you're asking, you're probably not there yet, so you should just stick to the sell rules, to be honest. This FANG looks interesting. I don't like the fact it had a wide candle yesterday. It would have been better if it had a tight candle. But it's an oil and gas name that's finding support on a 50-day. But it's too wide. That's the only thing I don't like about it. And it's showing relative strength to the rest of the oil sector. Like if you look at OIH and XOP, these oil ETFs, or oil gas stock ETFs, they're not really looking as strong as that FANG stock was. So it's showing relative strength. Yeah, Tesla's been moving since yesterday. Tesla 8585, that's great. That's how you learn. I'm gonna take the other guys. I have like 10 or 12 DMs right now on Twitch. People who want their setups to go on. People who want me to go through their trades. Like I'm gonna do a few per day. I mean, I did it for what? 22 minutes. I'm done. Like I want to go to sleep. That took a lot of effort. No, a good breakout is not point. That's the problem with Pradeep's method. Like not every stock is created equal. Okay, this is why I use ADR. Okay, like something like net. Okay, this would be considered a breakout. Like it's up more than 4%. Its ADR is 5%, so this would be less than its ADR. But you buy something like Citibank, Citigroup. When this thing is up 4%, now first, the 4% move for something like this would be very rare. It's almost 2 times ADR, okay? You need to, like a breakout, like you can't put a hard rule like, oh, 4%, because it's gonna be very different. You're gonna have very different outcomes on different types of stocks. Like on a slow moving stock, which you should never trade to begin with, you buy a 4% breakout, you're chasing big time. Like I don't like the 4% rule. And EP too, like EP doesn't necessarily have to be 10% all the time. Sometimes it can be less. But it depends on the stock. If it's a slower moving, like large or mega cap stock, an EP can be less than 10% gap up. Like something like JD, this was like a hybrid of EP and breakout back in August, which I bought size. Like this thing only gapped up like 4 or 5%, but it was still an earning CP slash breakout. Because it was a slower moving mega cap stock. Yeah, exactly. It's all relative. Now this is interesting. Like I think there's a lot of shorts piling up on Riot, fundamental shorts. And this thing, if it starts breaking out like tomorrow or whatever later this week, if it specifically can tighten up on the 60-minute, it could actually make a big move. Because it's not going away. Look at where it found support. Now it's in an uptrend on the 60-minute, found support on the rising 10 EMA. Do I like GBTC more of a bet Bitcoin Bay as MSTR? Well, look at my portfolio. What do you see there? And what do you not see there? We'll answer your own question. Man, Tesla's. Oh man, it hurts just looking at it. Oh, these weed names having big reversals. Tilray, CGC, APHA. Undercut and reversal of major moving averages. Why wouldn't today be a breakout day? Because yesterday's where it broke out. Look at these tight candles, and it broke out of this range yesterday. That's the breakout. Today is the chaser day. Now, obviously, you know, if it goes to 900 or 1000, it won't matter if you bought it at 690 or 719, right? But if you keep chasing breakouts, you know, you're not gonna last for long. That's a simple fact. Yeah, stay away from mean reversion, seriously. If you can't make money buying simple breakouts, you're not gonna make money doing anything else. Just saying. Stay away from UVXY and the UVXX and the volatility instruments. Stay away from mean reversion longs. Oh man, we already have content for struggling trader feedback for the next couple of weeks. Baba breakout of what? It's in a year-long range. I don't see anything. It had a potential EP yesterday, but I don't see, you know, it needs a lot of work. I would prefer when it actually is in an uptrend and pulls back and flags in an uptrend.
This video.
This semis are weak again today. Well, software and the internet stocks have picked up the slack. IHRT, it looks too random. It's just too random of a stock. The setup itself is pretty decent, but I don't know. I don't like the stock necessarily. Oh, NVCR is failing. It's a big gap up. 46% gap up. That's a big move. You know, you don't want to buy gap ups that are too big. Sometimes they can actually work. I remember Amarin a couple of years. This was literally the last time I bought a biotech EP. 2018, fall of 2018. This thing gapped up 204, almost 250%. Look at the volume, and it broke out of, took out the highs, opening range highs like late day. Look at the volume. It went from trading a few million shares per day to trading over 150 million. That was a good one. That's an EP. Especially the ones that like take out the highs of the day, like mid or late day. That kind of digest first. They try to break down intraday and then they're gonna reverse. If you haven't noticed it yet, my favorite type of EP is earnings related, either guidance or earnings releases. Because those are the ones, they're just so much easier than biotech EPs. Biotech EPs can be super tricky. You can't really, you don't know if the news are good or not. You kind of have to rely on like biotech Twitter. Because in biotech there's so many moving parts. And heck, I studied medicine and I don't get it. Like it's super complicated. Sometimes the stock releases really good data, but if it's like slightly worse than a company that had, you know, has a similar product, you know, it's not good. Or if it has slightly more side effects or whatever, may not work out. May gap up on high volume because everyone gets excited, and then it fails because the smart money never comes in because they realize it's inferior data, and it's just too tough. Twitter, yeah, it bounced off it had a tight candle day before, it bounced off the rising 50-day. It's not a traditional setup of mine, but it's a variation. You want to buy leading stocks near the moving averages, major moving averages. That's the idea. It's the same thing with Square. You know, when they pull back and start building higher lows of a certain moving average. Confirmed multi-million-dollar contracts. Well, if it's a relevant dollar amount for the company. And if it's not already priced in, if it's already not, you know, like a renewal or something, it needs to be a big surprise. Okay, fuck it. I'm getting tired, exhausted. Okay, thanks for joining. See you tomorrow.